Over the past few days I've been looking at the way that I'm doing the vegetable gardens at this sustainable house, and I've decided to introduce or trial a concept that was originally advanced by Linda Woodrow in her book The Permaculture Home Garden. And it's a mandala garden system which integrates chickens directly into the garden. And the way it works is we have a chicken dome, which this is the structure of here, and the chickens live inside the dome, and the dome sits on a garden bed, has sort of stations, 6 stations or 12 stations around a full system, and every 2 weeks the chicken dome is moved from station to station. So it takes about 6 months for the chicken dome to go all the way around and come back to the station it started on. And basically what happens is when the chickens are in there, they actually just sort of decimate the area. They clear it. Initially they'll clear it of weeds and seeds and the like. You'll throw your mulch in there, they will spread that out. They'll do what chickens do basically. And then when they come back in 6 months' time, the garden is largely spent. Most vegetables will grow within a 6-month period. The garden's largely spent. It has plant material left. It has weeds starting to come in. It has bugs in there. Chickens go back onto it and clear it over the 2 weeks they're on there of all of that, as well as manuring it while they're there. So anyway, I've started by building a chicken dome frame. Now I've done this slightly differently to Linda Woodrow's design, but very, very slightly differently. Basically all I've done is drop this top cross rail down a little bit, which changes the angle on it. You can see at the top the angle changes a bit. The reason I did that is it means that all the pieces are pulling against each other, and it actually provides a lot more rigidity to the unit. I'm also going to cover the base. It's designed so that this bottom rail and this top rail are 150 centimeters apart. So a 180 centimeter roll of wire should be able to encompass the whole thing and allow for 150 mil wrap over at either end. That will add a great deal of strength because it'll largely be one piece of wire that'll be holding it in place. We will need to put pleats on this sort of portion here, so when I actually do that job, which will be in the next few days, I'll come back and add to this video. So a little bit later on there'll be an addendum to this, and you'll be able to see that on there. The other change is that she had a at the top here, Linda Woodrow had wire and then had a tarp covering it, was tied down separately to provide shelter to the chickens. I'm actually going to use a shade cloth covering for the top, which I think will actually lighten it. It doesn't really need to be wire at that point, I don't think anyway. So I'll use sort of 50% shade cloth, and then I'll still use the tarp tied down separately. So yeah. These cross pieces that you can see, this red thing, that's just simply to help move it around at the moment. But basically the reason I wanted to show this video at this stage was basically to show the frame, which is PVC pipe wired together with 1.4mm galvanized tie wire. But also to show the size of it, because when I originally set it up, I set it up sort of, you know, away from the chickens down there near the shed. And I looked at it and thought, Linda, in her book, specifies that up to 12 chickens, 10 to 12 chickens can live in this, depending on the size of the chicken. And I looked at the size and thought, geez, it's small. I'm not sure that 10 chickens will really fit in there all that well. So I've actually brought it up next to my chicken pen so I can compare sizes directly. And I don't think there's going to be any problems at all, because as you can see, if I come back this way actually, you can see that the area within the circle, with the diameter area within here, is actually a bit smaller, probably about maybe half of the area that's available to the chickens in their permanent run here, in the permanent run. And there's currently 16 chickens in here, and as you can see, room and space is not really much of an issue. So I think, given the fact that the chickens are moving every 2 weeks off onto a new location, I actually think 12 chickens, even 12 sort of larger chickens like the Eyes of Brown Crosses here, or only adolescent Australorps, but Australorps, I think will actually be quite happy in here, and I don't think we'll have too many problems. The rounded nature of it also means that no one can get cornered and picked on. So you know, if someone's getting chased, they just sort of run around in circles as opposed to being bailed up in a corner and really hammered. So look, I actually think this will work really, really well. Be interesting to see how it does pan out as we move forward. And so the next steps is that I'll wire this up and finish this off. We'll set up a perch system which will hang sort of just up here so the chickens can get up to the perch, and we'll organise some laying box and some water. And then what we might do is I'll actually move it down this area over here, which is where the veggie gardens will go, and we'll start implementing it. So the plan is to start the chickens some chickens in this enclosure over winter, and have a couple of beds ready for planting first thing in spring. So so I've got a few months in which to organise everything. Anyway, I'll come back and revisit this once I've rewired it and put the shade cloth on top, and we can have a look at the next steps from there.